everybody. Welcome, Dre. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Steve. And then... yeah, we want the indefinite. Damage is good. Oh, sorry. So silly. And then I know we can use a 3-star null, but we shouldn't need it yet, so... yeah, let's start here. Thanks, Kurt. I appreciate it. It wasn't my idea. I helped refine it, but yeah, saying thank you for the team there. I agree. It turned out really cool. Hey, Nardik. It has been a bit. Welcome, Bleezy, Elijah. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well, but I don't... that's interesting. Weird. Okay. I don't think I should need the block proficiency if I have the regen. But yeah, we'll be careful. Anything in particular here? No. And... is that coming through the speakers there? Because the sound is like a little distorted coming through the speakers here. Don't love that. Okay. Fury is probably the way to go. Potency and duration is insane, though. I mean, I could take the block hack to start, right? I'm gonna go aggro. Why does it sound like that? Excuse me. The health ones in particular. Those were my idea. I'll take credit for those to help you scale into the later rooms. Hey, Jason. It's rough luck, Bleezy. So, actually, before we go any further, I saw someone complaining about... excuse me. About this event. Oh, this is just an alliance event. Okay. So, what is in here? Okay, you get the Incursion selector if half of your alliance does this. And you get a 1 to 2 gem. And then there's some other... like, all of this stuff is decent, but I don't know. Like I said, I saw someone complaining about the grind factor of this, but I'm not going to hide the ball on this one. The Zone 30 thing is not what this event was really tuned around, per se. It was like, okay, Zone 15. It needs to be reliable to get to Zone 15. And then because the symbiote and the hacks get so crazy. Let's build around making Zone 30 possible, which is why the health and attack nonsense is there. We're like, cool, let's try and make that possible, and then let's give them something cool if they do that. But, like, these rewards are not insane. In late 2025, a guaranteed 7-star that you've theoretically had access to for years and a 1 to 2 gem and some Titan shards is not making or breaking anybody's bank, and it's not even backloaded. Like, the Titan shards are all up front. Only a quarter of the Alliance needs to do it for you to get the 26 stones. I don't know. This to me falls under one of those things where it's like, if we don't do crazy, wacky, extended stretch goals, then people are like, I just wish that like there was something extra where if you really went above and beyond, you got something. And then when we give you the ability to go above and beyond for something, there's just always players that go, it's just kind of a bummer that this event was designed to make you grind all the way to the end. And it's like, look, man, you can have one complaint or the other. But if you keep making both, we're going to stop taking you seriously. No, it's okay, Elijah. If I start, I mean, kind of to the point I just made. If I start over, I start over. But I've done some testing. I have some idea what the good ones are. Hey, Aiden. Hey, Misty, thank you for that. I'm glad you're liking it, Curd. Nicely. Ah, sorry to hear that, Narctic. Oh, somebody asked earlier, yeah, do I get to choose what champ I design? Kind of. I can call dibs, but it's not binding, and things are subject to schedules, right? Like, rolling back to previous designs, I would have liked to call dibs on White Tiger. She was a decently high priority for me, but Kushala was a higher priority. And White Tiger was very close to Kushala, so it would have been very difficult for me to do both. And then Serpent was also somebody I liked closely after White Tiger, and so it was like, okay, can't do White Tiger, that's fine, I'm still getting these others. And it's always a balancing event like that. I have a question when it comes to champ design. Do I make abilities before or after animations are made? Do they come at about the same time? Abilities come after animations for the, like, strictly speaking. But you're supposed to be thinking about them ahead of time. Like, example, my February champion has now had, I think, has gone through both of the design reviews, and the art team is currently working on their VFX. But my internal tracking ticket for, hey, make sure that you've had a design review and actually written down the kit and talked to other people about what you're doing. The very first one was due like last week. And so art tends to work ahead, but the art process itself will also ask like, hey, what are y'all's design vision? Is this character more of a defender? Do we have to be thinking about their specials in that way? Do they need a special evade animation? Are they going to go invisible? Let's start building that in now. Do they need double hits? Like, because there are parts of the animation process that are shaped by design intent, and so you should at least start to think about your characters early, even if you don't really have a fleshed out kit until much closer to launch. Yeah, fair enough, Jason. In my opinion, it was still too easy. I mean, and that's the bonus of all this, right? Is that, like, we're not giving all that much away in terms of rewards. Okay, you know what? I think the background noise is too loud for me. I'm going to turn it down. cool. When I hit a boss in room like 27 for the node combo, but yeah, no, I get it. And yeah, same. Whenever I see incursion stuff in selectors, I pick that up first because they are so precious elsewhere. Is it possible to get assigned a champ you don't care about? Yes, absolutely. I've seen it happen a few times to others. I've been assigned champions that I at first did not care as strongly about and then developed attachments to. You usually don't get all the way through the process without at least developing some fondness for a character. I want a good defend. Oh, like that part of the meta stuff, defender or counter for X. Um, it's kind of weird for me because like every designer has some input, but I think it edges closer to not having a choice because we do have an overarching meta plan. But I am also heavily involved in building the overarching meta plan and working with the balance designer who runs that. So like it feels more like I have a choice, except also kind of not, because even though I technically have input on like the meta plan that is then going to influence what I'm supposed to do with my character, it when you're doing that kind of work, it still doesn't quite feel like you really have a choice, right? Like example, the first champion of the class with advantage over a major defender, you have to at least think about them. You have to be thinking about like, okay, I probably need to counter them. How hard do I want to counter them, etc., etc., etc. There's always at least pressures in certain directions. So even when you have a choice, there's usually like something in particular that you should be doing. Hey, work, how's it going, man? It's been a bit. Yes, Jaden, it is absolutely fantastic to have a double track for a champion I built. Some of y'all may not remember this, but I barely got 7-star Photon before Deathless She-Hulk came out, and so it's not the reason that I wanted to build Deathless She-Hulk or Deathless Thanos, but it was definitely a significant benefit of building them that I finally knew that I was going to have access to my own characters at the highest rarity. Because had not had good luck on the way. Here you go. Yeah, the power steal is insane, Aiden. Completely agreed. Yeah, so I'll admit fully, Jaden, on Serpent, that was a bit of a happy accident because I was involved in the decision to have both of the specials start with a hammer strike. I'm not going to say it was my idea, but I remember either saying that or like nodding when somebody on the art team said it. But it was not for that reason, right? I knew that I wanted him to use the true focus and have it turn off decks because that was a specific homage to Heimdall, another Asgardian defender. But the unblockable came later. And before I added the unblockable, I went and tested that to make sure that it still worked. So, like, it was intentional, but it was also a little bit lucky because if we had built the specials differently, I probably would have had to build the kit a little bit differently because of that. Uh, that's a good question, Misty. I don't know. It kind of depends on if it was included in the definition of damaging effect. It's very possible that somebody didn't dot that particular I. Nice, Elijah. I'll build a tech champ eventually. Too far to ask which of my champs I didn't initially care for and why. I mean, I cared about them all different amounts. Serpent was one that I did not initially like really care for. I thought he was cool because I was like, okay, Odin's brother, yeah, fun. But when I picked up Serpent, I hadn't yet read Fear itself. Um, I had been repeatedly told to by Maya because she was like, "This is one of the coolest things that's ever happened in comics. You have to watch it." It is, or no, 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 no. I had read Fear itself. Maybe I think I read Fear itself as prep for Absorbing Man when I was still onboarding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I reread it for Serpent. But I hadn't read a lot of the extra stuff. Yeah, 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 that's what it was. I hadn't read like Journey into Mystery or whatever, like the Loki and Thor side of that story or any of the offshoots. And so I got more exposure to Serpent and the lore around that as I was prepping for him. And then I kind of had more fun with it. He's probably the main one. Hey, Cat, how's it going? I am also very stoked for the theater. Hey, Haza. Excuse me. I'm glad you liked it, Haza. It's funny, soldier. Hey, KN. Hey, Cyber. Glad you're enjoying Gene. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, it's okay. It's not. Hey, EJ. Okay, cool. As long as somebody remembered to look at it, Aiden, then I trust it. I just didn't want to speak for it before then. Oops, that's actually not the one I meant to hit. That's okay. Yeah, I'm definitely back to Mystics being my favorite class. There was a while there where they felt a little bit less current for me, but yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I've built a lot of Mystics. Two back to back, and they definitely have some common themes. Did we not mention a few? I haven't looked recently, Dilly, but I am at the Hotel Belmont, doxing myself. That was, at least when I booked a month or so ago, that was pretty cheap and pretty close. There are a number of solid ones. I think we've given out the address of HQ, so just somewhere around there. Take care, Elijah. Nice, Doctor. Gross. I hate Icarus. All right. Probably Nartic. I immediately bought two boosters to get a profile pick, so I am not the point of comparison. Ouch. Yeah, I'm sure you're not alone, Cat. I wasn't being subtle. What's the reasoning for Paviter being a mystic? His powers come from mystic stuff. He wasn't bitten by a spider like the various Peter Parkers and such. The the movie version of his character, which we're going closer to, doesn't really specify where the powers come from. In the comics, he was given his powers by a mysterious yogi, which is a little problematic. But point is, not a spider. So he doesn't really have a justification for being science the way the others do. Yeah, the design is really cool. His art is some of the best we've ever done, in my humble opinion. Right, Cat? Like, yeah. I'll talk about this on the live stream and more spoilers for those of you who come up to Fest. I'll chat a bit about Paviter in one of the talks there. But, like, comics don't always rush the respect and sensitivity thing. And I have had to build characters before where their lore has definitely not been awesome there. Um, and it was important to me to get it as right as I possibly could. Ouch. Stupid. Don't worry, Nartic. It'll get out there eventually. Not what I meant to hit. I'm not going to be hiding things forever. I just am trying to make sure that some of the exclusive stuff we have planned stays exclusive. I saw the Paviter minifigure. Ugh, because it was a gotcha too, right? Like, it wasn't guaranteed which one you got. I want one, but I wasn't about to risk buying God knows how many until I picked him up. How dare you? With my heavy attack. I don't answer the, like, favorite or most fun variations warrior. Um, there have been plenty of champs that I didn't design that I influenced the design of. That's just how the team works. So I don't think I really... You know what? Actually, I have a specific one there. Moondragon plays significantly more like Absorbing Man because I was annoying during her design. I'll give you that one. Okay, I'm starting to notice the block damage. Let's pick that up. Okay. Maybe I will check out the local Lego store. I imagine they're probably sold out too, but I can take a look. Yeah, no, I get that for sure, Nartic. It's a good hang. My hope is that all the work that's gone into Summoners Fest this year makes it significantly easier to repeat next year than it was to get the second one going. Because then we can just plan around this being a regular occurrence. I actually haven't taken a look at the selector yet, Misty. I don't know who I need. Yeah, let's just keep the immunities going. I mean, the true stuff and the grit is almost an immunity. Yeah, miss comes up enough. Let's grab that. Oh yeah, I think I spent all my Mysterium. I guess not all of it, but I appreciate the shout, Cat. I'll go spend some more of it before this. Artifacts, I'm not particularly close at the moment. Oops, that's fine. Yeah, no, I think reverse controls is next. Oh, I've already bought most of the stuff, but let's grab this. Cool, that'll keep us down. Why not? Makes sense, Narctic. Also, your name here now makes more sense to me. Do I think they ever hold Summoners Fest in the States? Probably not. Like, especially not right now, while crossing borders is harder. We don't need to get into it, but it is. Um, But even outside of that, like there's just so much stuff that would need to move and so many employees that would need to plan lodging and travel and probably have it covered. And it would just be so much more expensive for us. Whereas even though the company spends like I'm getting flown up, right? My flight and hotel are covered. Um but like covering me and Na also out of Texas and a few other people um, is much cheaper than covering like everyone else who can be involved at Summoners Fest by just going to work. It is nice to immediately pick up the true sense after, or see her immediately after getting the true sense, though. I can't guarantee when I'll get to it, Sean. But yeah, you can reach out on, what is it? My Discord is D_L_L. Send it over. Yeah, honestly, no guarantee that I ever get to it. I am busy, but like, you're happy to send it, and I'll try to take a look. You're welcome to send it, not happy to send it. That's not how that works. Idioms. Okay. When did they change the explosive transference? Or explosive personality one? How long has that been purple? Like, that's a great change, but I don't remember seeing that. Not quite like that, Dilly. I mean, but that's the same problem, Jason. It's not the border crossing problem, but it is the same, like, okay, how many employees do we need to buy hotels for? I would love stun duration while we're here, but I'll take crit rating. And in case anybody's curious, yes, I am stockpiling resources for Paviter. I don't. Nobody's asking me. I don't need to defend this, but just in case anyone cares, I don't normally do this because even though I know what characters are coming, I try not to act on it. And like, even I didn't even stockpile for Nico. I took her to rank 4 immediately, but there was no planning involved. I spent all of my radiance and glory because I try not to use too much of the advantage that I have there in terms of being like technically I could build a spreadsheet and plan out my roster and like be way more optimal. Sorry, I brushed my Elgato, but I don't want to do that. But Paviter's the double track. He's broadcast ahead of time to everybody, and so I am absolutely planning ahead. And I like actually did the math for how many of everything I need. I am ready. These are all fine. Nice, Nartic. He'll be my 5th. Yeah, there is a Kabam office in Montreal. Don't think we have... We probably have people in Toronto, but there's not an office there. Based on me generally having a good sense of your champion taste, do I think you'll like it? Without giving too much away, he is harder to play than most champions. I still think there's a decent chance. I don't know. I could see it going either way. I definitely encourage you to check him out. It's not really... Yeah, it's not a leak because it was on the live stream last month. Like, they mentioned the web traps. I think we're starting to call that category of stuff what we decided on effect locations. But internally we've called them trigger volumes, and that includes like everything from the leader's green door to the high evolutionary's evolutionary field to mines to traps in the corner. Anything like that is like an area on the field that isn't just the champion itself, we call trigger volumes. And so it's not really a leak to say Paviter uses those because we've already said that. Not everybody has liked all of those champions, but I think that I did a good job of making them easier to plan around and use. And then there's some other interesting stuff in there. Yeah, we'll see. Because he's tougher to play, but I definitely gave you some tools. Glancing. Don't have the grit yet. Gotcha there. Trixie. Yeah, I hope y'all like him. I really like him. But this is also very much another case of I built him for myself in a lot of ways. I took the things I liked about trigger volumes and added a few things, changed a few things, and then I was just playing around and having fun. And I'll talk about this more later, but like several of the abilities in his kit are because I found myself doing things and having fun with them. And I was like, it would be fun if this did something. And so now it does. Because that's what you can do when you design champions. My job is fun. Steve is so silly. Do I ever design a champion with utility for the future? To a point, like utility, yes. But we generally don't do the thing where it's like, okay, we're probably going to introduce a new dot in Mutant next year. All right, this person's immune to that dot. That would be dumb. But like maybe a better example is we do want to continue building out the combo ecosystem, right? Which means more science characters that demand you build a combo, more mutants that hunt combo, more skills that make building combo on defense a threat. And there are characters with answers to those things, right? Um, so we do that, but I don't know if that's quite what you meant or not. I have to light intercept. If I light intercept, I'm cooked. Yeah, Patriot's a good example. Which is funny because at the time he was accused of being too laser focused on Photon. Because I wasn't creative enough to do that and make a usable character. Okay, Carl's gonna be annoying. Do we get more stuff here? No, we don't get any more. Just yet, at least. Do we get more later? I think so. That all seems fine. That seems fine. Okay, let's go this way now. Yeah, that's another good example, Misty. Okay, let's grab the grit. We'll get reverse controls next time, but I'm looking at that fight or flight, and I don't want to deal with that. I wasn't trying to avoid it. I was trying to power steal you. Hank says, I see. I thought I remembered it. But yeah, it'll just be later. Yeah. No, you'll see more skill defenders that ask you for combo. I will push very hard to make sure that you see some skill defenders that ask for combo manipulation that aren't as hard as Yelena, right? Like that's one of the biggest mistakes that I think Kabam historically made was often asking you to do new things with very difficult defenders and not really building it out. I think especially in the modern game, and we are intentionally doing this, right? This isn't just me going on a spiel, but like in the modern game, we are spending more time like trying to not just build big marquee defenders, but also have smaller defenders make you um, consider those abilities valuable more broadly. Which you could be cynical about that. There's plenty of words I'm not going to use right now. Somebody will probably type it in chat for what that means, but I don't know. I consider that good design. Ouch. Yeah, Maker's a good pickup for War right now, for sure. I've been using him a lot this season. Bluntly, I had a really bad first week of this War season. Like, considered stepping away from Tier 1 bad. Which is why you haven't seen videos, but I'm feeling a bit better, so maybe it's time. Hey, Leroy, how's it going, man? Yeah, I get it, Arctic. It's tough right now. And I don't think this is private, but I'll say like SSX as a whole kind of reevaluated, and we're still we're still aiming for masters, but we're not really trying for top 10 anymore. If it happens, it happens, right? Because we are still full planning, we're still boosting, we're still doing all the things that people talk about as trying. The shift that we're focusing on is just if we do end up in Platinum 1, oh well. And that's really important because everything else flows from that, right? You can tell people not to beat themselves up for dying. You can tell planners to like, a plan doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything to get all of the right pre-fights here. But if the goal is masters and Platinum 1 is failure, then none of that matters. Because it does matter every time you die. And it matters every time you send someone to their death because you forgot something. And it matters every time you didn't want to try and coordinate, all right, you place this pre-fight and then that person will move, and then you place that pre-fight and then that person will move, and then, oh god, where's our boss killer because it's the last 3 hours of war. And so we adjusted what our goal means because we don't want to be that stressed. And I think so far it's working. I was clearly not the only one who felt that way, but We're gonna be okay. Yeah, I get you, John. Okay, is this where we ramp more? A little bit. Oh, but only 2! So I can't get the high level one. Well, I guess I was greedy earlier. Okay, all of this is fine. Fine, 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 fine. Fine, fine. Cool. You can be dangerous looking at Airwalker, so yeah, maybe we go over here. Cool. Oh, there's +7 there, and then... Wait, what? Ah, the +7 is guaranteed, and I think this is just a random chance to gain the extra +2. Interesting. Planning is what made me leave. I was a planner in the mental gymnastics I have to go through every war, push me to the limit. Yeah, no, I totally get it. For those of you who don't know, Simula is the other planner in my battle group. We plan on call with Clown, you know, pretty much 3 times a week. Sometimes one of us isn't there. And it's a great time. We love hanging out, but like the stress was getting to us. And for the first time, Sim and I both admitted that we probably would have stepped back from planning if it didn't mean that we would have been, if that hadn't meant leaving the other one to do it alone. And that, as we were talking about that, we realized a lot of people in the Alliance were kind of in that do it for everybody else mode. And like, this is making me a little bit emotional because if that's how almost everybody in the Alliance is working, then that means you've built a really good culture. And people really care about each other, and that's something very special. But it also means you can all chill out at the same time and be okay. So that's what we decided to do. Yeah, makes sense, Nartic. War planning is like being an air traffic controller. They have early forced retirement for a reason. Yeah, that's a painfully accurate metaphor. Traveling to Canada, do I need the CTA thing for my passport? I don't know what you mean by that, Dilly. Take care, Misty. Have a good one. Yeah, that's kind of what I've gathered from you, Kat. And you do impressive stuff. Speaking of that planning chat, I'm going to maybe make Kat feel slightly uncomfortable here. The other day, she posted that she took 42 Spider Woman with Joaquin. I know that's public because you posted the video publicly, I think. Um, but like in our planning chat, I posted, "Hey, Kat just did this video. It looked like a good option." And then immediately following that, somebody goes, "I was just about to post that. The video looked pretty good." And then somebody goes, "Can we get the video?" And 5 minutes later, Sim comes in and goes, "Did y'all see that Kat did this? Like, I think that's a real option." Point being, yeah, you're doing good stuff. I hope at least some of your alliance does notice. 49 Zola with a bag of chips. Yeah, sometimes stuff happens. Oh, that's interesting, Arctic. Correct, John. And I understand why we did that. I probably even voted for it, but in hindsight, if I could change one thing about Shothra right now, it would probably be that. Honestly, Warrior, I'm not huge into the symbiote, so I don't really have an answer for that, no. Nothing against them. They're just not huge to me. Okay, let's grab that prowess. Gotcha. That's good to know, Dilly. I'm not planning on having all that much room, Dilly. I know you're joking, but... Pass. Alright, there's Biohazard, there's Tunnel Vision, we're fine. Also fine. Ooh, you know what? Sorcerer has extra ability accuracy. This could be a little bit of a problem. Oh, Jesus, those are huge. Alright, I'm still gonna grab the immunity, but that's... That Power Steel prowess sounds nuts. Sounds good. Oh, no, I know, John. I knew that you weren't trying to start a fight or anything. That's just, as a planner, that's something that's come up a bunch, where it's like, man, it would be really nice to have that pre-fight for 44. And you know what? If Shothra were poison immune, I could use her over here. But nope. I mean, we still end up using her, but... Ah, well. Yeah, Nico's been banned all season for us. I'll see her again eventually. Your OG shell. That's funny. Would definitely work. You can probably take that fight with Thanos, but it sounds pretty tough. Let me think for a second about who I would send. It's always Dragon Man. Not everybody would like that, but it would work. Hmm. Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to look at something later. But for now, let me just take a quick scan through this. Okay, so Deathless Thanos on 44. I am kind of serious. Dragon Man would work really well, but I know most people don't have him ranked. So running through this. Within Mystic, anti-unstoppable options aren't super plentiful. It is part of why Nico was built the way she was, but you can also do it with somebody who can just play slowly. So Dragon Man can do that. You can probably do it pretty decently with Destroyer. Um, Anti-Venom would be solid. Decelerate not being as strong as slow definitely isn't ideal. With this tactic, you can technically use anyone in the tactic, which means that somebody like Shang-Chi becomes a possibility, but you would have to be very good with Shang-Chi. Same idea, you could use Lumitrix. Tactic tech might work. I'm going to stop there so I don't spend too much time on it, but hopefully that was a little bit helpful. Nico's sometimes banned for us, but not always. Not sure what to do about Aspect of Evo, Serpent. Symbiote Supreme is probably the top option if you have a big one, especially if you can fit reads, but I'm assuming that's not always or not particularly likely. But yeah, Big Symbiote Supreme is very good, especially if you have the Mordo synergy. If you can manage Purgatory with the Mutant Pre-Fight, that'll work. Agreed. You do have to watch for Aspect of Evolution increasing ability accuracy, getting around the neutralizes. I've seen Spiral do it very efficiently. There are others, but those are probably the big ones. Yeah, I hear that, Bleezy. I think the various hacks landed in a really good spot. These poisons are stupid. Oh, chat disconnected. Did I lose the stream at all? I am seeing YouTube not be particularly happy. Hmm. I'm gonna have to play with some stuff later. Looks like we're back. Okay. Yeah, Degen is okay. Playing her slow is annoying. You can definitely get away with using Bastion this particular season, yes. Try not to get hit, but yeah. Medusa could do it. Medusa could do it. She hits hard enough that you could slow play around the Unstoppable and the Rupture. It doesn't sound fun, but yeah, Medusa could definitely do it. The poisons are higher potency, yes. I had the same disconnect early, but yes, they are like 3 times as strong or something. Or more, I forget, but it's significant. Okay, what do you do? Weakness is annoying, but otherwise we're okay here. Combo party means I could insta-die, so don't. Yeah, that'll be fine. What do you do? Nothing. What do you do? Also nut. I guess I don't need to go over here then, but whatever. Yeah, see, they look like 9 times stronger here. Yeah, see, there we go, 67%. Not at all surprised it got up to 80. Okay, Fisticuffs is annoying. I didn't quite clock that, but we can be careful. It looks like it applied after the regen, and you know what? That's what matters. It is stopping literally all of our Furies on the way up, though, which is less than awesome. Not cool, bro. Not cool. I'm so glad we built Incursions version of Fisticuffs. I felt like I was stretching when I proposed that one, but not having builds like this just instantly die because you start without buffs that you can never get back, just, ugh, so much better. Alright, that was my fault. I was impatient. Night, Jason. Take care. Yeah. Incursions are a long way from perfect. Those of you who are members have probably seen me rant about that. But, you know, in the interest of not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good, I am very proud of the work that we've done on them over the last few years. They feel a lot better than they used to. %90 resistance to bleed, immune to poison, and encroaching stun. Whew! That boy sounds annoying. Okay, we'll deal with it. What do you do? Fine. Cool. Ooh, the extend buff sounds good too. But not good enough. Not for an early pickup, anyway. Nah, it's only if the degen is on you, Bleezy, that the damage reflect happens. You can play around it, but I do definitely have to be careful with the Sauron. For a while, I need water. Thank God for True Sense. Shocker's likely to still be annoying, but we at least don't have to worry about his auto block. Ah, get True Sense, bozo. I mean, if we did this all the time, it wouldn't be that fun, Warrior. Nor would we be able to give you the kinds of rewards that we can here. Oh, Sauron's Power Steel immune. I'm gonna die. Thought we got rid of the Power Steel immunes. We probably just forgot about him. Woo! That was almost really bad. Thank you, Unstoppable. That's why I'm not really complaining we had to go to Zone 30 with him. Yeah. I agree with that, too. It was important to make it special. And I'm not going to be doing all of it in this one run, but... yeah, I'm having fun. You know, one thing that I realized recently, those of you who've been around a while will understand why this bums me out, but I'm not going to be able to do the extra live stream this year. Ever since I joined Kabam, I've done a 24-hour, well, not 24-hour, but 12-hour plus. It was 24-hour once. Live stream. To raise money for charity. I've been sending it to Texas Children's Hospital the last few years. And I won't be able to do it this year because the date for Extra Life is exactly on top of Summoners Fest, which sucketh. So, I don't know. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to raise funds outside of that window. Like if I tried to do it the next week or something. I'm gonna be thinking about it. I might even reach out to Extra Life directly and see. Um, yeah, because I enjoy that. Like raising money for charity is always cool, but also like purely on a selfish note, those streams are fun because I just get to hang out with people. And it's basically the only variety stream I do every year where I just play various games, and that's cool too. Ah, well, it happens sometimes. If I can't do it this year, then I can't do it this year. But hopefully next year they don't overlap. I just looked at that. Okay, that tells me I've been in here for too long. Gross. Hopefully the way that the other thing is built means that those don't get fully turned off. I did not. I have never played StarCraft, but that is cool. There is a game that I don't know any of y'all. Remember when I said I'd play Elden Ring on it? Remember when I did play Elden Ring on it for a few hours, and then I did something else? Uh, but there is a game that recently went into early access from just a demo that I've been playing a little bit this week called Aethermancer. It's basically roguelike Pokemon. But if that interests y'all, it's still decently cheap, and I would check it out. It's fun. I know, I know, I know. I will play more eventually. I struggle with that kind of focus for long times, which is, I know, ironic given everything else that I do on stream, but I don't know. It's different. Brains work different. Hey, Easy, how's it going, man? All right. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we should be okay. Oh, tags are definitely towards the end, yeah. What does 15 prowess look like? Pretty good. It's only 4 Furies, too. That's a lot of disorient. There's a lot of disorient. Yeah, I think you can only earn the point the one time, so that would probably just be an issue. I'll take the armor rating. We're doing enough damage at the moment. Excuse me. That'll be fine. She sounds a little bit annoying, maybe annoying enough to not be worth it. I think we can just go here. Nice, Nartic. Alright. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I hope this doesn't sound flippant, because it's not how I intend it, but generally, events are designed with the idea that you are always trying to find an alliance where you plan to stick around. Like, we know people will move, but the point is for alliances to at least be a long-term thing. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, I think Cat's right with the theming. Sir Riffin do this incursion? There's not really a reason for him not to, is there? Well, there's one reason, and that is me being in Vancouver and busy. Yeah, let's see what I get done. Definitely seems possible. That was my fault. Alright. Sorry to hear that. You're free to call me a biased source. I really don't think the state of the game is anywhere near that bad. But I'm sorry it's affecting the rewards here. Another moon dragon? Ugh. Chum the waters is a word I don't like to say on stream. That's all fine. It's fine. She's annoying, but that's fine. No, it doesn't matter. Let's just take the easy one. I mean, except for what I immediately said after that easy, which is time. Yeah, normal life stuff for sure, I understand. EQ was not a great launch, so I can understand that. Prestige 30, like, everyone's free to make their own choices, but that one annoys me. Prestige 30 is good for everyone. People love to freak out about change. Some people definitely leaned into it. It's unfortunate. Yeah, no, I got you. I followed Leroy. Don't forget Steve can purify debuffs. That's right. How again? Remind me. It's in the leech, right? Yeah. Purify 4. Cool. Thanks for the gifted membership, Lee. Appreciate you. Yeah, and I get it easy, but the Prestige 30 thing just annoys me so much because, like, it's one of those issues that proves that when people say that we just need to explain things and do things for players and announce them ahead of time, that, like, they don't actually mean any of it. Because we did all of that with Prestige 30. And it didn't matter. Hey, Matt, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're here or not, Double P, but whether you are, whether you're watching this back, enjoy the membership. Okay. Scroll. Dang, yeah, it has been 2 years. Thanks, Walrus. I appreciate you. Probably not tonight. I don't think I have 15 more or 16 more zones in me, but I will absolutely be finishing this before too long. I have to prep for a D&D session tomorrow, though, so after I log off here, I'm probably going to go do that. Okay, That all seems fine. Excuse me. True accuracy is good for you. Right back at it. Gross. Okay. Yeah, it seems better. Let's go that way. Quake is scary, but as long as we're careful. Yeah, absolutely, Leroy. Like, it's... I can understand. Like, I don't want to be insulting. I can understand why people's minds went to, oh, now I have to rank the top 30 prestige champions instead of the top 5. But, like, that's just not what it means. You have more freedom, not less. And again, I completely understand the initial response, but I am very annoyed at how many people still think that's what it means and just are not willing to listen to anything to the contrary. Sorry, I touched the cord there for a second. That makes sense, Jeff. Nicely. That makes sense. Maybe somebody else is doing it. I'll get to it soon. But I have Curse of Strahd planning to do. Woo! After a bunch of rooms in a row of those poisons not doing what they were supposed to, that is tasty. Sounds good. Homebrew gamer module? I think I just answered that. Where else could I show off my Joe Fix at Prestige? Exactly. Prestige 30 has been so awesome already. Like, I'm gonna take a quick jump over here. Obviously, my top 5 are pretty strong, right? They were solid even before the change, but they weren't exceptional. High Evolutionary is number 1, but Serpent is like 10th or 11th. Like, I wasn't crushing it there, but then if you add in a Sig 200 Kushala, Sig 200 Tigra, Sig 200 Vision, Sig 200 Longshot, I forget where Dark Phoenix is. She's like 160 or something. But like all of these are rank ups that I want to make that actively help battlegrounds, war, questing, that are just fun. And now they matter. And that's all this will ever mean unless I decide to go insane and go to an alliance that chases top 5. Maybe even then. Like, it just... That's all it will ever mean. And that's a good thing. I will not tell your players, please. I'm flattered, but I might be judging you a little bit for that one. I don't know that I'm worth that. I hope there were other reasons. Yeah, I'm having fun already. But I need to get prepped because like they could go so many places, right? And so I need to have more conversations ready than I currently do. I have a question about the prestige thing. As I sig up my champions, is there any reason to focus first on the rank 4s or the rank 3s just as much of a help? The rank 4s will be better, right? Because they are proportionally larger. Pulling back the curtain a little bit, the way prestige or PI works is that it grows based on attack and health. Rank 4s are going to have higher attack and health, and so on average they're going to gain more prestige per Sigstone than a rank 3. That's not an absolute statement because if you're comparing a rank or a rank 3 that gains like 20% rating from 0 to 100 or 0 to 200 with a rank 4 that gains like 5%, then maybe the rank 3 is better, but like that's getting pretty granular. I mean, it's just a straight upgrade, Matt. Like basically any rank you like the I know that you're coming at it from a you feel like your resources are more limited, but it's still good from that, right? Like now you don't have to go, okay, well, I can improve my prestige or I can make this other rank up that's powerful. It's like they just happen at the same time. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Kat. Like I get it. You don't have to like prestige overall. You are absolutely allowed to have all of the problems with prestige that you do. But if you don't like prestige, prestige 30 just makes life better. Number go up when I do most things. Exactly. Exactly. No power gain for you. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I like Paviter a lot, but Venom is very good. I don't know that I can argue with that. I don't know. I see what you mean, but I also don't. Because, like, your prestige relative to the rest of the Alliance may have been higher at under 5, but if your prestige dropped that much when the change happened, it means that your roster was still weaker, right? And that meant that the bill was going to come due. You were going to have to work more on your prestige in the future when you eventually fell behind more, and it was going to mean that you were going to feel like you had to make sacrifices for prestige to do that. You might have bought yourself some time, but it's always a treadmill. And I think what this change does is it means that bill's not going to come due for you. You just have to keep working on your roster in general, which is better for you and better for the Alliance. Chiwetel just delivers it so well in Arctic. You gotta throw it out there sometimes. Yeah, exactly, Walrus. It varies because like it's a different amount for different characters. It's a different amount for like different body types because some characters have like gain more attack and health per level up. It's very complicated, but in general, it's based on attack and health, and so number go up when attack and health go up. Number go up more when attack and health go up more. Okay, this is zone 16. I'm gonna get this last boss hack, and then I think I'm going to chill for the night. What does Medusa do? Buffet over time, blah, 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 blah. Cool, that's fine. What do you do? Also fine. Don't have a way to awaken Beviter. Fair enough. Yeah, that's kind of another way to say what I was going at, Leroy. Like, anyone this hurt, quote unquote, it only hurt short term. It bought you a lot of space in the future. Yeah, but as time goes on, if your rank 3s don't want SIGs, then you have SIGs, right? You just put them into the next rank 3. There's always going to be something. I'm glad that you felt like it's come up quickly. We have now come to the part of the stream where Cat actively roots against. I must have missed Limber on here, that's fine. That's gonna hurt. Or not. Jesus, those fortitude buffs are strong. That's fine, this should kill him. Yeah. Yeah, I empathize too. Because in the short term, it sucks. Without a counter, Medusa is rather annoying. She is indeed. He's so silly. Yeah, she'd be a good rank 4. Can't argue with that. We've fully explored all the bounties. Are we done? If you can still earn more, I think the rewards do refill, so you can still get more stuff. But there's obviously less of an incentive, right? Okay, we're good on most things here. Yeah, she's very, very good. I do like the soccer a lot. Don't think I have anything I want to. Oh, that counts. Cool. Per our discussion, is Kindred perhaps in my top 30? No, he's not. Okay. My SIGs have gone high enough. Maybe someday. Ooh. Bastion SIGs out of these is very good. Cool. And a 6-star Yelena to practice with. That's a win. Alright. Should have ranked Fort Havoc over Negasonic. I mean, Negasonic's very good, but I do have a soft spot for Havoc, so I respect the impulse. Alright, thank you everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and dip now. Got some Curse of Strahd reading to do. But thank you for hanging out. This is good attendance, good conversation. Yeah, good way to spend Saturday night. Take care, everybody. I'll see you.